Fucking technology.
A bingo card of technical issues. Oh no.
Ooh, my webcam is the one that's gone.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean. It's now it's saying, oh well, Skype is not there. I'm like, no, it is. You're just being fucking stupid.
That sucks.
That's thinking about it.
Oop, it's
No, I'm changing through all the different programs because
Hi, chat.
it's being fucking stupid.
that's really weird.
I'm so annoyed right now with this shit. Fuck it. You know what? You don't get a cam. I don't fucking
Okay.
stupid.
It's weird. Super weird.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
guys. Streamlabs is just being really weird tonight. It's actually what's caused us to start late in general this evening.
Mhm.
I promise it's not for any other reason.
Yeah, actually, it's not. Like, it's Streamlabs is literally just. It's like, no, I don't want to pick up that program now.
Funny thing is Jay will still be able to see me and Orchid because the Skype is a separate program.
No,
Yes.
Note that for the record that Skype is not fucking up. Everything else is. Draw screen on monitor.
Yes. Yes, I want it with a Sharpie, and I want green hair and a very small nose because I know mine's a little bit larger. So if you could fix that for me, Vuru, I would really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Cut that.
I can draw you as a stick figure.
Yes.
That's my artistic ability, is stick figure.
Yeah. You can't see the like rocker style of me saying yes because my fucking webcam won't get picked up by Streamlabs.
I can see it though. I can verify it. It's happening.
Very emphatic.
Okay. Now let's see.
Thank you for the sub and the bits, pins. All the bits.
That was the other thing I was going to do. I forgot to do that. Whatever. No!
Everybody has the corgis.
Yay.
Corgis on deck.
Okay. Now. Fuck. Yeah, that's cool.
Are you okay?
No, Audacity has the same commands that Skype does, but Skype like overrides things, so I have to do things manually in Audacity that I'm not used to doing manually. I just need to change the hotkey commands in Audacity. I keep forgetting to do that. Anyways. Okay.
Oh, pins. I didn't even think about that. Interesting.
All right, anyways.
What do they think it is, though?
Oh,
it could be like a lewd thing with dangly bits.
Jeez Louise. It's not a Twinkie. A Twinkie with dangly bits. What?
That's unacceptable. That's acceptable.
It's a corgi.
Because all right.
Corgis.
You guys ready?
I like candy corn. Yes.
Candy corn is wax sugar garbage.
It is amazing with cashews, and you can fuck off.
It is wax sugar garbage. You can quote me.
Do you remember? Did you ever have those wax bottle candies as kids?
They taste like candy corn.
No, they taste way worse than candy corn, but they were still pretty damn good. Okay, no. Yes, ready.
I'm ready. Okay, sorry, I'll be quiet.
Okay, anyways. Welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on October 2nd, 2020, over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat. As always, I want to give a big shout out to our live chat here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This week's episodes are going to be focused around the exploring upcoming hikeable area, Europa. This particular episode will serve as what we have come to call the intro session of the week's exploration. Before we go any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who all we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86.
And going to slightly corrupt you with emotes, Green-Eyed Music Lover.
I just, my feed just
Corky.
like erupted with candy corn on stream, and I'm very confused. We'd also like to welcome to the team our resident otter mom. Hey, it's Orchid.
Hello.
Yee! Orchid's
Yay!
Fire Chat too, guys.
Yay! I'm here forever.
Okay, that scared me a little bit. Not gonna lie. Jay?
As it should.
Nope.
I'm still being thrown off because Pizza Trains is flooding the stream with candy corn emotes. Oh man. All right. Well, man, it's been a while since we've had a new member of the podcast team. So I don't know what to do now.
Let's have Orchid talk about herself, where she's done with lore, where we can find her, all the things we have normal people do on the show, and then make it even more special because she's staying around.
Okay. Usually you can find me on this other podcast called Guardians of Lore. Friend of this podcast, other podcast.
Member of the Lore Network.
Where you can find many fine content creators. And you can find me on Twitter at Hey It's Orchid, and I stream on Twitch also at Hey It's Orchid many times per week. I don't know. I like lore. It's fun. I was
lore.
more into
fun.
I was more into like the shooty shoots in Destiny 1. And because
You're
they made
also
you
into the fashion.
I'm very much into the fashion.
Man.
Resident
Did you see that new
fashion winner in Destiny. I have the fashion award.
See that new emblem that they're coming out with?
I'm gonna win it again. You better believe it. And then I'll be 2-time fashion award winner.
Oh,
Hey, it's Orchid.
Here's the question for you then. Because you sound very, very hunter-ish, hun. What are you calling yourself anymore? Because last time you were doing Titan for a while, then you switched back to Warlock, but you were originally a Warlock, and I still think you need to try Hunter for a little while. Just try us on for size, see how you feel.
Oh, okay. So I have to tell you, there is something I did. So when I was trying to finish, so this is how I became part of this podcast. I'm convinced of this. Let me tell you the story. So I was going for the Chronicler seal. And the only way that I could get this lore triumph seal was to do the how was it? The heroic story mission for, was it the mechanic?
Yeah. The
for that one last piece of so that one last piece of lore, and that was the last one I was missing. So like an idiot, because I was halfway through Forsaken on my Warlock, because I've been playing it with my brother, I was like, well, I can't redo it because I couldn't find it, and I couldn't think of like, oh, I'll just go find it on like the story mission board. So I was like, I'll just do it on my Hunter. So I got my Hunter out after having not played on my Hunter for seasons. This isn't season, it's seasons. And
I can't wait to hear how that went over.
Oh God, I died so many times. I'm like, my thought process the entire time was, how jump? This is dumb. Like, Why
It's
not
the
flute?
jump that makes sense.
Why-
What's your problem?
She plays
Why
a
not
warlock.
float?
It's the
Why?
opposite.
There's no float. A shoulder charge when? Why not lightning fingers?
I hit the jump
Why
button
can't
and I
yeet?
didn't float. Yeah, you jump because you hit the jump button and you jump.
No
That's what
yeet.
happens.
It was very difficult. I was like, oh, why? Oh, smoke. Why? Why did this happen?
I love smoke.
Why dodge smoke? Why invisible?
He's my favorite. That is my class you are talking about, Missy.
I know. The entire time. That is what I was saying essentially out loud, because you think when I'm streaming, that is just how I stream. No, this is how I actually play by myself in my room when I'm sitting with my cats. It's just a stream of consciousness all the time.
Isn't the
So
mechanic the one
I
that
very
the
much
floor is
struggled
lava?
through it with my hunter just so I could find that last piece of lore, and then you better believe I quit that mission like a hot potato. It's like, goodbye. This is so hard. And then I put it on. I was gonna like take a picture, and I was looking real good in my outfit, and I was like, oh god, I almost took it on my hunter. My hunter has the lore title. I gotta change this. Like, what am I doing with myself? No one's gonna believe I did it because it's on the wrong character. It was terrible. So I'm a warlock, but I'm a titan on the inside.
You really are a titan on the inside.
I'm a titan on the outside too, but everyone always that I play with always needs a warlock, so I'm always a warlock. Because most of my friends are titans. So they're always in need of a warlock.
Yeah, I may have broke chat because I made a confession.
Oh no!
I don't have chronicler, guys.
So are you saying
that's
that
because
I had to get it to be on this show, but you don't have it?
Yeah, no. I'm still missing like.
Am I taking your spot?
Aren't you? You're missing the Ahamkara eggs, right?
Well, the eggs and the bones, because there's not all of them. I only have a few of them left.
No,
I just haven't finished
it. That is an understandable thing to miss, because there's a couple of those that are just like I don't know.
Yeah,
you had to do some really
That's all it
inventive
is.
jumping to get a couple of them, especially in the what was it, the Ascendant not dungeons, but the Ascendant pockets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh god. I think there's two of them that come to mind that like literally it took a long time because you had to jump. You had to steal, like there was the one that you had to steal a sword and then turn around and jump over like this entire expanse. And I was just like the entire time I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I mean those were those in the patrol zones. Mm-hmm. Those little things that if you went into, most of them were in lost sectors.
Yeah.
One behind the spawn-in point in the Dreaming City was the one that comes to mind. But yeah, those I have left, and I have I think one or two left in Shattered Throne. I soloed through Shattered Throne to get most of them, so I have the ones that are not past the ogre, because I never made it past the ogre because that guy is a jerk.
Yeah.
I go with you. I go with you. Except
I'm
not on
fine with
PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. We could do it on PC.
As Dancing has pointed out, speaking of hikeable areas, that is such a good transition point.
Roamable.
Roamable.
Like
roamables.
It's hikeable forever.
Well, let's talk about all the collectibles that are available in the hikeables. For anybody who's actually paying attention to this episode and still with us, that's what we were referring to as destination. I don't patrol zone. I don't even know what we're
patrol
supposed to call
areas.
So yeah, we're going to talk about Europa.
Yeah, the official term for an area that you can pull your Sparrow out in and ride through that is not a specialized mission.
Yes. Hikeables. Discoverables.
You heard it here first. Discoverables? That's not what that is.
No, you find the discoverables in the hikeables. That's what you do. You find discoverables and collectibles in the hikeables with your picnic basket.
With your picnic basket. Guys, we solved it. We solved Destiny. We can all go home now. Goodbye.
Let's go start the episode.
Hey.
Hey.
So we're gonna kind of just tear through this a little bit. There's actually, sadly, there's not a huge amount of information just yet about Europa within in-game. So a lot of what we do know has been from a series of, let me see real quick. I think it's like two, oh no, actually I do have like 5 articles. So I have collected some information from, there was a spotlight back on September 22nd, which was around the same time that they dropped the Europa trailer. And then also there is a couple little snippets from Beyond Lights. The Bungie has like a hub page for each season. So I've gotten a couple like little snippets out of there. And then there was an amazing article that they had that's called 100% Chance of Snow, which was on the, what was that, September 23rd, which actually, if you haven't read that, I really strongly suggest reading it. It's got some really cool discussion points about the actual aesthetics of Europa. So it's really, and they're talking about like the weather systems and how they've kind of redesigned it to be a dynamic system. It's really cool. So I figure we'll probably talk about the weather systems and like the fine tuning of the space. That'll probably be more in the advanced session. The intro session, really, I was thinking we can look at the segment that Bungie has started kind of calling Europa Awaits, is what they've referred to it as. But before I do that, just a couple special announcements. First, obviously, welcome to Orchid. She's now officially part of the team, so you're going to get stuck with her. Second, thelorenetwork.com. Please give it a look over. Let us know what you think. As we talked about last week, we've kind of repurposed the way that the site is laid out. So I want to make sure that it is conducive to what you guys are looking for out of that site. As I get a little bit more free time, I'm going to start looking at transferring some of the resources that I have built personally over on Google Drive. So like all my list of definitions of like major figures within the Destiny universe, the timeline, all that stuff, I'm going to try to make sure that we get that over onto the website for everyone to actually have a one-stop place to find that stuff. So keep an eye out on that and let me know if that works for you guys, if there's a better way of delivering that system or that information. Please let me know. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, the other thing I have, I got another email from Loot Crate. They are doing, again, the Destiny limited edition Loot Crate. If you are interested in doing that and you haven't already purchased it, we do have a affiliate link with Loot Crate, and if you are going to purchase it anyways, if you purchase it through that link, we actually get some credit for it. So it's just an easy way to support us, and it doesn't cost anything extra from you. So, if you're interested in supporting us and you like some Loot Crate stuff, Loot Crate usually has some pretty good little things in there. So I know if you get, I think I was looking at it, if you get all of it's a quarterly crate, not a monthly crates, but if you get all the quarterly crates, you actually get like a Traveler figurine, which I don't know. I haven't seen it just yet.
Do you remember the code word, our word for the promo on it?
Yeah,
or
so we'll put the links in show notes on the Podbean site. That's another thing I'm going to be trying to update and make sure there's an easy way to get to. Show notes will have the link. If you use the link and then the code is Robots Radio, it'll be all in the show notes as well. It's just taken there. That will, on some of the crate subscriptions, that actually gives you I think it's like a 10 or 15% discount. Actually, it's a nice little discount. So, but yeah, so that's all that.
Robots Radio with the plural, not just singular.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's also a network that we are part of. The FFC is.
Yes.
So
but yeah, so that's my spiel there. Yeah, feedback for the website, I would just, I always ask for it because it's just always helpful to hear back on stuff about that. So let's talk about Europa. I know we have, this is an actual place, for those who don't pay attention to the things that go on above above the sky. This is a moon of, I'm going to blank, Jupiter. There we go. Jeez, because it's called Jupiter 2. It is one of the what's referred to as the Galilean moons, which are 4 moons discovered by Galileo, and they were discovered back in 1610. And so Europa is named after a Phoenician figure within mythology who is the mother of King Minos of Crete. And I know this is going to come as a shock to a lot of people who don't know much about Greek mythology, but she was a lover of Zeus. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
What, Zeus?
That dog. I wonder if Hera knows about this.
Oh my gosh.
Hera knows about this.
I'm going to write her email right now. I'm going to leave him a bad review on Yelp.
90 to 95% of the problems in Greek mythology is because Zeus couldn't keep his pants on. Like, that's just it right there. Europa is actually a really cool little place. It is probably one of the places that is not just fascinating to look at, because actually the promo pictures that that Bungie has of like the red lines, that is actually pretty accurate to Europa. Mm-hmm. It's really pretty, but it's actually also one of the places that we know has a lot of liquid water. And it's below what's referred to as an ice shell. The ice shell of Europa is about 10 to 15 miles thick. So it's literally a planet. It's literally a ball of ice, but within that ball of ice is this ocean, and it's thought that the ocean is the entire moon. And the reason that the reason that Europa is able to have that liquid is because the core is being constantly, basically similar to Titan, it's being constantly shoved back and forth with gravitational forces from Jupiter. So it's constantly in this flux of being bounced between all these different gravitational fields. And because of that tension, it's actually creating heat that is melting the ice within its core. Now, it's also got no atmosphere, so it's really cold, hence the ice shell. I believe that I'm trying to remember if we've actually landed any of our satellites on Europa. I know that the Galileo satellite went by in the 90s and actually got some really cool pictures. But
I don't remember if I've seen anything, because I have, for those of you who follow on Twitter, I have NASA photos that go out daily. And a lot recently has actually been about Europa, which is kind of amusing, but I haven't seen anything about a probe or a satellite heading out there.
I can't remember. I know Europa, Venus, and Mars have been in the news like this past week.
To give you a really interesting comparison to real life with Europa versus Earth, the Earth's crust, like the oceanic crust, so the distance under the ocean to the what would be, what is it called, the upper mantle, is only 5 kilometers thick. If that's only 2.5 miles, like not, it's about, yeah. So 11 miles worth of ice versus the oceanic crust being only 2.5 miles. That's a huge amount. Huge change. Anyway. Blue. Did I make you lose your spot?
No, someone asked me about Armada, which was a 2015 novel by Ernest Cline, who wrote Ready Player One. Mm-hmm. I think they're saying that Europa. I have not read Armada, so I'm not really sure. But I think they said that Europa was kind of mentioned or featured in that novel. So I'm not sure. Pizza. That was in chat. Pizza Trains asked that. I'm not sure about that. It would not surprise me. Europa is, like I said, Europa is mostly ice. It's mostly solid water. It is slightly smaller than our own moon. It is actually less than a quarter of the size of Earth. And like I said, it orbits Jupiter. It is the so Jupiter is the fifth planet from the sun, and it is about 484 million miles from the sun. So yeah, it's really far out there. As far as like the rotation of Europa around Jupiter, it is one orbit of Jupiter every 3.5 Earth days. So it's about it's a long time. The other thing about Europa is, like a lot of the Galilean moons, it is actually tidally locked. So what that means is, similar to Titan, the same face of Europa will always face Jupiter. It doesn't actually, the way it rotates, it's always facing the same way in regards to Jupiter. It is, like I mentioned, it is extremely thin atmosphere, so it is very, very cold. Unlike the other places that we've talked about, there is actually probably no possibility at all. You would need a breathing apparatus to be there, not to mention a really, 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 really big blanket. Almost like your bathrobe, Orchid.
Are you sassing my bathrobe blue?
No, I'm just saying it looks really warm, and it would probably suit you very well on Europa.
No way. Europa's all water. I would get wet.
It would also
Or
be
about
way colder. Like, we're going to be doing a little bit over Io next week, and Io gets to negative 270 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly.
Just a bit.
So you mentioned that it's a bit moister than usual. Europa's subsurface ocean actually contains more than twice as much water as Earth. So think about that. Europa is less than a quarter of the size of Earth, and it contains more than twice as much water.
So Julie asked me about Europa, and she asked me what we were talking about tonight, and I said, "Hey, we're going to talk about Europa." And she's like, "Okay, what's Europa like?" I was like, "You're like, expect to see Luke walking around with a tauntaun. That's Europa."
Yeah. It's not lukewarm though. It is pretty cold.
No,
but it's all wet though.
I would not be surprised if Drifter pulled a Luke and then ate it.
That's what he was getting out of the cages. They were just really feral tauntauns.
Maybe. If
Chat now wants a tauntaun sparrow.
Yes, I want a tauntaun sparrow. Just something that you can. How would that even look? They would have to change the positioning of the guardian on a sparrow to make that work.
I just want the horn to have the tauntaun scream.
No, get the kind of sparrow that you can that you essentially do a lowrider in, and then just make it go over, clip yourself into it, so it looks like you're zipped yourself into the body.
Yeah, but the problem is that the character model would have to be shifted, because all the sparrows have the same character model, right? Even the only one
the bear.
The only one that I can think of that doesn't is the little scooter, the tiny kids
the mini
scooter.
scoot.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Black Flag actually added to the orbit of Europa. So he says Io, Europa, and Ganymede have a resonance orbit. So every time Ganymede orbits Jupiter once, or Europa orbits twice, and Io orbits 4 times.
That's cool.
That's really cool. And then,
nice.
Yes, a potential Drifter quote is being offered. You ever tasted a tauntaun roasting on a flaming fallen drag? Transmat firing.
I swear to God, that said flamingo for a second. I was like, what does that even mean?
We are going to see Fallen on Europa. That was confirmed, and I think in one of those articles, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
that the splintered houses of the fallen have rallied and built their new empire on the icy moon of Europa.
I'm very excited. Yeah, no, I'm very excited.
Because Aramis is the Kell of Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is got so many that's got so many implications. Yeah, so
go does it though? Because we already had the Scorn, which had their own flavor of different kind of bad guy, and the Devil Splicers, which is another like basically the Fallen are I don't know, they're like very liberal in their breeding habits / assimilation habits.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking more because the opposition to Mithrax, who is the Kell of Light.
Sure. You want to go with the logical answer?
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on breeding habits of the fallen. My brain got stuck for a second. I'm very sad to say.
Okay, what about some of the other stuff we know from the trailers on it?
Right.
Well, so really quick, the introduction that we get from Europa is actually in the trailer, which was really cool trailer. They introduce it basically as it's also where we hear Varric's return, which is another kind of thing that's going to be an interesting. I'm interested to see how they bring him back into the whole thing, because it sounds like Varric's is actually on Europa as well. But Varric's goes on to say, "What have you seen out there? Look beyond the frozen wasteland. Europa is a place of many mysteries. Do not lose your way. We all come to this moon looking for answers. What do you hope to find here?" And then it's actually described as a desolate wasteland where every gust of frozen wind whispers long-lost secrets and further buries the mysteries beneath your feet. You arrive on the heels of a dark empire that grows in power. Stand against the blizzard and press on, Guardian. Aramis must be stopped. So, a couple of things to kind of tease apart there. With the artwork and some of the snippets from the trailer that we've seen with Europa, we've also gotten confirmation that we're going to be seeing the Deepstone Crypt. So the Clovis Bray hints have all been kind of affirmed in a way that Europa is going to be the location of at least one of the hub stations for the Deepstone Crypt.
And I believe that's going to be the raid.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's the raid too.
I could see that. I could see that. It would make sense that would be the case, because I'm just hoping that it's not just the raid, because the Deepstone Crypt has the potential to be a lot more than just a single play, like a single thing. And I would be surprised. Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was just thinking that the facility itself may be a more explorable facility, like in Last Wish. We can go to areas of the Dreaming City that are also part of Last Wish, but it may be primarily accessible into the depths of the Deepstone Crypt in the raid, which I think is actually a fairly fair point if some of the things that we're going to likely learn in the Deepstone Crypt are kept to the raid, rather than making them a worldly searchable, since we're on the Ubbles this evening.
A discoverable?
Hikeable?
It's a discoverable, searchable. You have to search for the searchables, and you discover the discoverables when you're hiking in the hikeables.
I feel like this is turning into a country song. We should switch to a ad break real quick before we get too far into that.
Yeah, we really should.
Adable.
Yeah.
Oh,
an adable. God, just ad break, please.
Now that we're back from the Adable, we're going to get on our pikeables and go back to the hikeables.
Oh my God, I'm going to find that country song now. I think it's Trace Adkins.
Chat's helping me find all the new words.
On a pikeable.
On a pikeable.
Come on, chat. We need more.
I'm going to shove a pikeable up something, so let's move on.
Hero, hikeable is the greatest word I've heard today.
So yeah, so we mentioned, right before that break, we mentioned the Dark Empire. I would strongly argue that that is going to be connected to Aramis. Um, the reason why I kind of mentioned that is because it's also described as, quote, a new power is born out of the ancient pyramid ship above Europa's frozen frontier, and a dark empire has risen beneath. So the Dark Empire that is in question is basically the catalyst for Guardians, that we're also like, we're coming to Europa for answers, but we're also going to be kind of trying to put this new threat down. Because as Guardians, that's pretty much how we operate, is we just respond. We don't really proactively do things, we just react to things. Sorry, chat's going off on. So and they go further to explain this new empire is it's the splintered houses of the fallen have rallied and built their new empire on the icy moon of Europa. Brave the unrelenting glacial frontier, infiltrate the Golden Age Braytech facility, and uncover the secrets that lie deep under the ancient ice. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential just within that right there, that connects what we've just mentioned, right? It's we got Aramis, we have the Clovis Bray facility, which is going to be the Deepstone Crypt. There's all sorts of things going here. The other thing is I get the feeling that we're going to have kind of a mere mission of what we found with the Ishtar Academy with the stranger, because she's calling us to this place, it feels like. And I think that's going to be kind of, I really am hoping that that's kind of what we get, is like this kind of similar layout to it. Because that was seriously one of my favorite things, was how they revealed the Exo Stranger with the Ishtar Academy. I think that would be really cool. The other thing is that we do have confirmation that the Fallen are actually able to use the dark power of the pyramids. The Fallen, it's described as the Fallen, now under the leadership of Aramis. The Fallen Kel look to exploit a dark power to grow their strength. And it goes on to say that this ancient power clouds our focus and tempts us with darkness. Stasis whispers in your ear before you even arrive. So we actually seem to have become exposed to stasis before we even get to Europa. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Within the trailer, again, I believe it's the Exo Stranger at this point that says this, but she says, Europa has been home to darkness for some time now. Its history could be the key to our fight. Help me unlock it. The deepest secrets of Europa are now within our grasp. And then also from, I think this was from the hub page, or no, this was from the Europa Spotlight. It says, a dark obelisk silently beckons you, watching from a barren clearing on the frozen moon. Those who came before you did not leave this place gracefully. The ruins of a once bustling cityscape tell a tale of ambition and loss. And somewhere beneath centuries of ice, lost Golden Age technology awaits your steady grasp. Seek the truth wherever it lies.
Well, that's an interesting little bit, because Europa was always just kind of assumed.
There's a couple things I've out there, but yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, it was always assumed that if Europa was anything, we've only ever heard about the Deepstone Crypt as a possibility on Europa. So the idea of a colony itself having a city on Europa is interesting. It would make sense if it functioned similarly to, I'm trying to think of the name of the actual grouping on Titan. My brain just keeps going to Kraken Mare, but the Arcology, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New Pacific Arcology.
Yeah, New Pacific Arcology. I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw with Freehold. And we know that it was a station for Clovis Bray that they sent scientists to, because we have a couple items within Destiny 2 that actually talk about scientists being stationed there. I can't remember. It's one of the exotic ships that we just got recently. They're complaining because they're getting sent out to Europa, And there's a couple comments where, you know, they're like, oh, the old man's going to be there and blah, blah, blah. We have to be on our best behavior, yada, yada. Which also kind of connects into Clovis Bray and the Sisyphus project. In my brain, at least, that was the connection there. So I'm curious to see how. I get the feeling that it's going to be a combination of Freehold from Mars and then also the Revelation story from the moon. Because the comment that those who came before us did not leave gracefully makes me, that seems like it's going to be much similar to Revelation. And then the other nice thing that I like here is that somewhere beneath centuries of ice, lost golden age technology awaits your steady grasp. So it's another little bit of a nod to the time difference that we've had since the golden age. It's just another like little nugget of like, yeah, there's been centuries past, which it aligns with some of the other stuff that Drifter has said and some of the stuff that Eris has said. You know, these other people have kind of mentioned. This just kind of is another little tick on that as well.
Is there anything in particular you're excited for, Orchid, with Europa?
I'm just really like I don't know. I'm just like chewing at the bit. I just really want to do the raid. I really want to see the Deep Stone Crypt. We've been hearing about it, and it's always just been kind of like mentioned in whispers and just as asides, and we still don't know a whole lot about it. And like the more we learn about it, getting closer and closer to like the actual release of Beyond Light, the more we can infer. But I'm actually interested to see like what they're going to do with the Vex. And I'm really like, after seeing that last trailer, when you see the Vex and the EXO at like the same station, I'm just like, I want to know more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like the creation of the EXOs and like what, I don't know, like how the Vex are
Especially since we
involved.
had that image in one of the trailers of the Vex back to back with an EXO frame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the same station, just, you know, both
figure out what's going on
together.
there.
Just like, I want to know more about that.
I kind of want a Fry File style explanation in game. It's obviously way too late for anything like that to like ask for a voice actor to have these descriptors of this area is used for blah 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 because of blah. So I mean, it would be nice to have something like that, and I kind of hope they go that route since they did it on Mars, but we didn't have that on Titan or anything like that. A question that popped up in chat. This is one I've seen on Twitter quite a few times, and it's a fairly easy one to explain. Lada Rin asked, what happened to it's on Enceladus or Enceladus? And not enchiladas. Could be, but it's not. Really easy explanation for it is they're referring to the mission Cade Stash. There's a secret message that he gives to Petra that if you decode it, it says it's on Enceladus or Enceladus or enchiladas, whatever. And the thing that it was always assumed that it meant the Deep Stone Crypt. It's actually never been confirmed that that's what he meant. So there could be a totally another thing on Enceladus that Cade is referring to that may be something important that Petra needs to know that she didn't already know. Like, why would Petra need to know where the Deep Stone Crypt is? I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that one in particular. Time will tell. But we are actually getting pretty close, and we're going to be trying really hard to stick to about a 45-minute episode for you guys, so it's not too long for you guys to consume in podcast form. Blue, do we want to start doing final thoughts for the moment? Or for
Yeah,
the
I think
intro
that's. I
episode?
think that would be a great kind of place to wrap up. I think for the advanced session, we'll jump into the segment that Bungie refers to as like the frozen frontier, and then also talk about the weather a little bit there, because there's some really cool technical developments that they did with that that I really am excited to talk about. But as far as like the storyline, I'm really excited to see where they go with it. Not just because I'm really curious how they're going to explain stasis, but also because this feels like it's going to be another kind of Forsaken-esque, or not Forsaken, Shadowkeep-esque story addition to the story. Like, it's going to be another situation where humanity encountered the obelisk, encountered the pyramid ships, and what happened as a result of that. So we'll actually get to see, I'm hoping that we get to see a development similar to what happened to Revelation, but this time from a Clovis Bray team. Because if you remember, the Revelation team was not Clovis Bray. They teamed up with Clovis Bray, but they were not affiliated with Clovis Bray. And Clovis Bray seems to be painted as the, air quote, experts of alien technology, I think is the way they described it. Within the Golden Age. So seeing their reactions to the pyramid ships, I'm actually really kind of curious. And also there's hints and possible, explanations to the origin of exos and the origin of other potential developments from Clovis Bray that might explain some really cool things.
Orchid, any final thoughts for you before we go to break?
Not really. You guys pretty much said everything. I don't know. I'm just very stoked for the next season. I think we're all kind of in a drought, and
what are you talking about? My postmaster is constantly full of those dark engrams.
I just wish you could delete them and it wouldn't take 6 years to delete each one. My only complaint.
I think that's actually what we're going to see next season a little bit. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a drought. At least I'm kind of hoping we do when it comes to rewards. Specifically those engrams. We might get like actual drops a little bit more, but
that'd be really nice.
Since the team is flooding our postmasters with it now, and we're getting so much loot for that's just trash, I can really see them dialing it back and maybe getting a few focused things that are a little bit better rather than just throwing blues, 2 blues and a purple at us every Crucible match.
Automatic blue deletion win.
Oh my God, if only. But Blue, I think we are good.
All right. Yeah, shout outs. Shout out to Orchid. Welcome to the insanity.
Aww, thank you.
And shout out to Green for putting up with me today, because I had a fun day today.
He was a
shoutables.
Blue.
Shoutables. That's what this segment's called. Shoutables.
Shoutables.
I'm just gonna. I'm enjoying chat right now.
This.
I love chat. They're enabling me. Get it? Green.
Oh my God. Really? And I actually am okay with that one because it's an actual word rather than these made up ones. I found the song. It's Diamond Rio.
Oh, no, you did?
I did. Yay. It's Diamond Rio.
Hashtag we are very serious podcast.com.
Yeah. Let's say goodbye, Blue.
All right. Well, wanted to say thank you for your time. And until next time, remember, with wisdom we conquer, stand strong, stand tall, and keep exploring. All words are made up.
Doom, stop with your logic. Okay. I'm going to go to the restroom and grab some more coffee. Then I'll be right back.
All right.
Do I stop or keep recording?
Keep recording. We'll just keep it running.
Do I?
Do it.
Do I stop or keep recording?
Just keep recording. Just keep it running. Okay. We'll just do one big file.
One big file. Oh no. For the lootables. Oh God. Chat is out of control.
All right, I will be right back.
I'm gonna be right back too. I'm gonna die if I be right back though.
Okay, chat, what's going on? Blue's gone. Everybody, let's be naughty. Vero, you're always naughty, hun. Always naughty. She's so kissable, huggable, lovable, unbelievable. I blame Blue. I blame you, chat. Orchid has to put up with me. Do I have any pics of the box Drifter lives in? I need a reference. I don't have any photos of that. You should be able to actually, if you were going into the prophecy dungeon, I think you can get back. Can you get back into his area? I know you can in Reckoning.
I think you can. I know you can't get too close to. God, what is it? No. You jerks.
Yeah, I know what box you're talking about. I think you can get to it in Prophecy because you start in that same area as you do for Reckoning. And Reckoning, I'm pretty sure you can get in there. Because we visited it quite a bit during
the 9 quests.
Yeah, Season of the Drifter.
Oh, embarrassingly enough, I just finished that quest line last week.
It was still able to proc?
Yep.
Wow.
I just finished it.
You're welcome, Lotta. I mean, I don't know. I finished Jotun about 3 weeks ago, so.
Oh, you mean you didn't do like a bunch of Bergusia forges until it dropped for you, like everybody else?
Yeah, fuck that.
What?
I mean, the quest was bad enough because I had to make 10 frames. I know you're like, oh my god, you are such a wuss if you're bitching about making 10 frames. I hate doing the Black Armory stuff. I hate doing forges. I liked the story. The story is my favorite. And the expansion was fine, or that gameplay was fine. I just hated forges.
Oh, Black Flag, you need to get Xenophage? Hit me up, dude.
Me too.
Hit me up, dudes.
I have a lot of exotics that I've never completed. I've not.
One of the most useful exotics ever.
Yeah, I don't have Anarchy. I don't have Xenophage. I don't have Mountaintop. I don't have all of the solo dungeon weapons that everyone fucking uses.
Oh, you mean the ones that I all have on right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any of those. I don't have Teraba. I don't have any of the raid exotics except for 1,000 Voices.
That's okay. Teraba is not good. Some say
it is in PvP. It's actually not, like, Huckleberry's a little bit better, but for an SMG, it does pretty good.
I like Risk Runner because it makes people mad.
Yeah, I used that for a while. I still haven't finished the triumphs for those. Like, I haven't finished the Luna's Hal Triumph. I haven't finished the Risk Runner Triumph. I do
you mean
have...
just getting Luna's Howl, or like...
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a Triumph tied to it as well.
Oh. I mean, don't feel bad. I just got Not Forgotten like last season, so...
Oh, I've never played that hard in comp. I want to.
It took me a year to get it.
You have to get 5,500 to get Not Forgotten. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I do too, Duck. Terraba's actually the DPS primary when its perk is active. I don't even know what Terraba does for its perk. Nor do I know what Huckleberry does. I really don't use SMGs very often.
Huckleberry reloads automatically.
Okay.
It like makes its own ammo. So you don't have to reload it. It just kind of does it forever. So you kill more things and it's like...
Oh, I mean, it's kind of like... What is a freaking auto rifle right now that has the largest fucking mag besides Sweet Business that everyone's using in Crucible?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
No, I've been solo queuing PC, Iron Banner, and it's so rough right now.
Hey, why do you hurt yourself?
I don't know.
I'll go in with you for Iron Banner.
Yay! All the people I would usually play with are either like moving or on vacation right now, or on Xbox.
Yeah, I'd run with you. I have a new laptop, so it will run faster.
Oh yeah, your laptop is so nice. It's shiny.
It is shiny, and I haven't hardly been able to use it because I haven't had to take it anywhere. So I've just been using my PC.
What secret thing are you doing for Cole tomorrow? All the people here, we won't tell. Don't worry.
Bullshit.
It's our secret. All of us and you.
Yeah.
The chat, you and me. It's between all of us. Guys, chat, you have to swear not to say.
There's only one person in chat who actually knows what I'm doing tomorrow. And she may not actually be listening at the moment. But starting tomorrow morning at 6:38 my time, I will be dropping hints every hour from 6:38.
Oh,
Lotta gets the right answer.
Lotta. That's funny.
That is funny.
I mean, my wife won't be there.
You're not wrong.
Airport. She's at work.
Yeah.
Shh, everyone knows.
Shh. It's fine.
What, Viru? What I do? I didn't do nothing.
None.
I didn't do nothing. I still haven't done the catalyst for 0 hour. That's another one I haven't finished.
Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do.
I do like it. I just haven't gotten past the fucking wall on the heroic version.
Oh, yeah. It's understandable. Because that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
I did it on my hunter at first. I did not do it on my warlock. Fun fact. I also did Whisper on my hunter first.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yeah.
I still think the jumping's easier on a hunter, but that's just me.
It is because you can make up. You can go down further and make up for your jump, I think. Warlock, you don't have a whole lot of room for error.
If chat is really, really, really wanting to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow, if you start going in my Twitter feed or use the advanced search button and look for any tweet at 5:40 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So adjust that for where you're at. If you find any tweet that is at that time that is consecutively done like day by day by day by day, you'll find the secret message I put there for Cole. She found it. She found all the tweets. She doesn't know what it means. And then tomorrow I'm just going to torture her all day with little hints and anybody who wants to watch it on Twitter and play along. You clever lady, you. Yeah, it's okay. It is a lot. I did it on purpose to make it difficult.
I'm on top of the pyramid ship.
How?
Because I jumped really high with a sword and kind of broke the map.
Nice.
It's made of obsidian. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I like the texture, I guess is what it would be. The matting for the bed and the...
It looks like obsidian. That's why I said it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like obsidian.
Well, it's like down with Eris and stuff in the interference mission. The waves, the sound waves, essentially. Those are cool too.
Those are so cool.
Orchid, I love would you say the pyramid is therefore a hikeable?
Well, it is now. I hiked all over it. I want to plant my flag in it.
You plant your flag in the name of Portland.
Oh, I did. It's mine now. Portland claims your dumb shard.
Yes.
Yeah, Zur is on Io. Because I went to go visit him because he has the Skull of Dire Ahamkara, but I don't like the roll on it.
I think that's one of the few Warlock exotics I have. Jay, you look like you're concentrating.
I'm trying to figure out who the fuck needs that much candy corn.
Nobody, because candy corn is garbage.
It's not garbage in small amounts. I don't want a ton of it, but it's not bad in small amounts.
Garbage.
You take that blasphemy back.
I will not, Duck. I will fight you.
Yeah, a lot of those were the ones that Orchid was talking about earlier that she just finished a few weeks ago. I really liked that quest. The tarot card quest.
I did too.
They are edibles. Not real corn, but it's really good. I mean...
I like the pumpkin ones better if I had to eat.
Sorry.
They're both gross.
I know. A little bit
That's how I feel when people talk about candy corn. You throw up in your mouth a little bit.
God damn the blasphemy of it. Of course, you're the basic bitch that loves pumpkin spice latte.
I love pumpkin spice everything. Someone said I should have pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese that Kraft is putting out, and I'm like, oh, it was high straw, and it's a thing. I saw it on Twitter on like an ad that they like keep putting up, and I think it's real.
Why?
Yeah, I know. Pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese. I kind of want it just to see. But
I mean, pumpkin is actually really
trash. You take that back, Pizza Trains. I will fight you.
You and Cole both. Cole loves Peeps.
I got these super great Peeps this year that were I got a bunch of different flavors. I got a root beer flavor, and I got cake batter flavor. It was called like celebration flavor, and it had this weird like it was just food coloring flakes.
Sure.
And so if you got them wet, it just the food coloring went everywhere. Like some sort of like a unicorn was crying somewhere. It was just like color was running.
I do not have a sweet tooth. I am not a sweet tooth person.
I put them in hot chocolate and watch them melt, and then they just get real sad looking.
Yeah. Have you ever put one in the microwave? It's
they get bulbous and weird.
It's hilarious.
It is. I love it.
Well then, that is a photo, Jay. You send it to Orchid?
No. Why would I do that? I send everything to Orchid.
Of course you do.
Yeah, he usually does.
She's adorable.
Ooh.
But
I sent the morning coffee and stretches picture to Orchid.
Oh.
Yeah.
I approve of those as well.
Yeah.
Sounds like we get he's basically...
The Poison Ivy one is my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, well, I didn't see the big sword one.
That's not
How
Poison
did I
Ivy.
miss this one? That's like 5 pictures up.
Oh, yeah. That's Jessica Negri. That's her newest
Little light
pyramid.
guru. It's just a little light.
Yeah. And then the one with the jeans jacket, my mom would never let me leave the house looking like that.
Oh, goodness. But as far as snacks, I know Blue actually got some grief today on the Focus Fire Chat Twitter for disliking chocolate.
Because it's disgusting.
I like chocolate, but I'm not a huge sweets person. So things like marshmallows, candy corn is in like super small amounts. Anything sweet is in super small amounts with me. I would rather eat a bag full of Takis than deal with super sugary things.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep up with what chat's talking about.
Oh, Duck asked if I'm the guest or if I'm the nearest cast member. I'm like, no, I'm just here. I'm sorry.
She's permanent.
I'm here now forever. You're welcome. Or I'm sorry. It's one of the two. I think it's I'm sorry. I think that's the appropriate one.
Yeah.
I haven't quite figured that out yet. Guys, no one wants to do this public event with me.
The super dark chocolate with chili in it. Oh yeah,
that's good.
That's
because that's not
super
sweet.
Yummy.
That's not superly sweet.
Right. There's a place in Albuquerque, New Mexico called the Cacao House.
This is an amazing story. Continue, Green. Continue, Green. What lessons did we learn at the Cacao House?
That sipping chocolates come in tiny, tiny cups.
Isn't that the one where it was super spicy too?
Yeah, it was. But I like spicy food and spicy stuff. It just came out later a little bit spicier than I was expecting. But the Sipping Chocolate House is amazing because they do like rose water and of course your traditional cinnamon and chili and stuff like that. So if you are ever in Santa Fe, that's the place. Go to the Cacao House. Neo, my wife used to live near Hershey. She was only a few towns away, if I remember correctly. She said she could smell the chocolate on days that the wind blew just right.
Ugh.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I know how I feel about that. Yeah.
Do you know the way to Santa Fe? I don't have news.
I don't know, but if you do, I'm going to go the opposite.
Fun fact, Black Flag, I actually rearranged that song for a concert in college. I got paid to be a composer for that.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
I can smell the cows. Yeah, legit. I can smell cows too, where I live.
Santa Fe is actually really cool in the downtown area. It's like parts of it, yeah, it's going to smell like cow shit. But there's a really neat and pretty downtown area, as well as they have Meow Wolf, which is a really cool art exhibit that was funded by George R.R. Martin, who also lives in Santa Fe. And he had a walkable, playable, interactive art exhibit.
But was
There's
it
actually
hikeable?
one being installed. It's super likable.
No, hikeable.
It's hikeable too. You crawl through like a fridge, and there's like this mystery story that's slightly alien-esque.
And then at the end, you die.
Is it bounceable? Can I do bounties?
I mean, you could do bounties. You could also fuck with people because the piano, you could play in one area and it would play in a different area. So
nice.
So it's fuckable?
It's absolutely fuckable. It's fuckable, playable, doable, explorable, probable places.
Oh no. I just don't like that at all.
You don't like probable? Most people tend to like probable.
No.
I am particularly fond of probable.
Nope. Playable.
What about twistable?
Twistable, boppable.
Boppable.
Did we do the commercial for that? Yeah, bop it, twist it.
Flick it.
Flickable.
That commercial without context is so dirty if you think about it. Like, it is such a dirty commercial if you think about it.
Just with the audio for it, you're like, what am I listening to? Why are there children here? God.
I hear children laughing and it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh God.
Oh God, Vuru. Nope, that one's too much for stream.
Pullable, pushable. Nope. We're going. Yep. Where's pens to head desk everything, guys? We need a chat.
So about that advanced session.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do that.
It's doable.
We're here. It's doable.
It's startable.
It's focusable.
It's bloopable.
Is it fireable?
Maybe.
We are fireable.
I'm very fireable. Last fireable, first fireable.
I'll be good now.
Sorry, I'll be quietable.
Okay, good?
Yepable.
Okay. Welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on October 2nd, 2020, over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat, as we continue our discussion over the upcoming hikeable Europa. This particular episode will serve as what we have come to call the advanced session of the week's exploration. Congratulations to those who signed up for a deeper dive. Before we go any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who all we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86.
And this is with the help of chat, and hey, it's Orchid, our newest member of FFC, we have been creating a language with the ables at the end of it. So this is the green-eyed music lover able. Green-eyed music lover.
I would say greenable.
Veru says that he is not responsible.
Rubble?
Yeah, greenable.
Yeah, Blue's not responsible.
Otterable.
But yeah, Orchid here.
Yay!
Otterable. Yee! It's been
enjoyable. Anyways,
well, that's an actual word.
Yeah,
that's new.
I'm good at this. This is one of the few things that I'm decent at.
Responsible. That's another one. Thanks, chat.
Man. So just real quick, couple of special announcements just to remind people, please be sure to check out thelorenetwork.com. Let us know what your thoughts are on the new site layout that we have going over there, whether or not we can do anything that makes it a little bit more manageable for you or usable for you. On top of that, if you are interested, Loot Crate is doing a Destiny limited, like it's like their legendary crate that they did for Halo, but it's for Destiny. We have an affiliate link with Loot Crate. If you guys are going to be picking up that crate and you would like to support our show, we would appreciate it. That will be included with the show notes over on our Podbean website, and just click on that, and then I believe the code is Robots Radio when you go to checkout. That I don't believe there's a discount off the quarterly crates, but the regular crates, there is I think it's like a 10 or 15% discount off of that with that code. So be sure to check that out. Other than that, as Green mentioned, we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to the new show co-host, Orchid. She is here forever and ever and will never leave. Anyways, now moving on.
She's taking over. She's taking over. Slowly but surely.
One podcast at a time.
Yeah.
The Otter Army is moving in. But yeah, so I know everyone is actually looking forward to diving into this one. I think with this particular episode, we're going to look at some of the information that we got concerning the actual what's referred to as the frozen frontier. So this is going to be kind of opening up and looking at the map that we've seen for Europa, as well as talking about the dynamic weather that they developed. It's a brand new system that they're going to introduce into Destiny, and it sounds really cool. It sounds like they've done a lot of work, and I'm actually really excited to see how that goes over. But real quick, Green, Orchid, did I forget anything? I don't think I did, but I might have.
I don't think so. I think we are ready to dive into the frozen frontier.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we, again, we're going to be talking about the information that we've gotten from a couple of the articles, the hub page over on Bungie.net, and then also at current time, the most recent Europa trailer that they released. This particular episode will probably be focused more on, I believe the article is titled, let me double check, 100% Chance of Snow, which was released on September 23rd. And I have all these informations. I'll include the document that I have all this collected on in the show notes as well for anybody who wants to go check that out. Similar to the stasis document that I made, it's kind of just a collection point of all the information that we've gotten from the dev spotlights for this particular topic. So let's just dive in here. It's described as a frozen frontier through a lot of the material that we've gotten. And there's quotes that say things like, the frozen frontier of Europa holds many lost secrets from the past. You must brave the unknown, infiltrate the Golden Age Braytech facility, and uncover what lies deep under the ancient ice before your enemy, Aramis the Kell of Darkness, bestows a new dark power on her fallen forces. We also have references to it being a frozen Golden Age graveyard, and repeated references that beyond the surface lies a secret. So we're going to be getting it sounds like a lot of areas that are discoverable when we go through this hikeable area. The big sections that are called out on the map currently are the Evantide Ruins, the Asterian Abyss, Cadmus Ridge, Karen's Crossing, and beyond. Now, there's some really cool tidbits hidden within those names. Right now, currently, the only thing that we have reference to them on the site are just these little like flavor text clips. I didn't know, Green, do you want to read those so I don't just talk everybody's ear off?
Yeah, so the Evantide Ruins has once home to thousands of settlers, and now that all remains of Clovis Bray's colony, colony. Asterion Abyss says, the Vex structures visible on the surface are only the tip of the iceberg. Cadmus Ridge says, a snowy landscape and the last known location of the buried buried Bray exoscience facility. So possible Deepstone Crypt area. Charon's Crossing, the site of Europa's communication center and the origin of a distress signal sent by Varix. And then beyond, an old friend awaits us in this clearing that overlooks the conflict between light and dark. Fun little straight up Exostranger reference there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely, and I kind of called that out. I was like, the friend mentioned here is most likely the Exostranger. I think that's the cutscene that we've seen with the Exostranger, Eris, and Drifter on that plane. I think that's the Beyond.
Orchid, would you want to go over a little bit of where we know Asterion from before, like the Asterian's Abyss? Because Eventide doesn't have any sort of like background things besides it's just a name and a location.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only thing that I see here for Asterian's Abyss, we have all the references to Greek mythology. We have the river god of Argos, who's a son of Oceanus and Tethys. We have the king of Crete is also referred to as Asterius, and it's the name of the Minotaur who dwelled at the center of the labyrinth of Crete. So it's another labyrinth reference because we seem to be collecting those like Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're cool looking. And
They
Eris needs to stop doing her little Zen garden underneath the pyramid.
I don't believe you. Continue.
Cadmus Ridge. Let's do some more Greek mythology now.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we do this one too?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Did you already read the flavor text for this one?
Yeah, the little red text.
Right. Yeah. So this is also a reference within Greek mythology. It's the founder and first king of Thebes. He was the son of King Agnar and Queen. Oh, you are stretching me. Thelaphasa of Tyre. God, words are hard, guys.
Telephassa.
Telephassa.
Really close. Mm-hmm.
I think, words. His siblings were Phoenix, Cilix, and Europa. Interesting. I wonder where that name came from. In addition to the founding of Thebes, Cadmus is also known as the man who brought writing and the alphabet to the Greeks from the Phoenicians.
Interesting. Yeah, so kind of a call out since it's an exo-science facility from Clovis Bray in that area. It's likely the location of where the Deepstone Crypt will be, or at least the entrance to it.
Yeah.
Blue, you have in here in the purple section, that's from the old flavor text, isn't it? From D1?
So that's actually, the purple text is actually from Beyond Light's hub page. So that was actually referenced. They talk about the Deepstone Crypt as below the frozen tundra of Europa. For decades, it has remained dormant. If you look at again, kind of what you were saying there, the exoscience facility, it's a snowy landscape that kind of translated in my head. I was kind of equating that to a frozen tundra. So that's kind of where I was like, it's the only thing so far that has been called out as being related to exoscience. I'm not saying that it is, but that's why I said it's like the possible location. The other thing that was the other location that I could see it potentially being is Evantide Ruins, but Evantide struck me more as a habitat zone than a work zone. And we know that Clovis Bray, if Venus is anything to go off of, Clovis Bray had segregated zones for like habitats and then work zones and research zones, and even within those the labs were segregated between different research projects as well. So it would make sense to me that Cadmus is where we see the Deepstone Crypt, whereas Evantide is more of that's the recreational home area.
What about Charon's Crossing? That one's a pretty famous name in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
With isn't that the dog?
No, Charon is the ferryman of Hades.
Oh, right. Cerberus
is the dog. Yeah. So Charon's Crossing Charon is often referred to as the spiritual guide of souls to the place of the dead. He's what is his archetype, his figure is what's referred to as a psychopomp. It's an actual entity. So Charon is a psychopomp. He is responsible for carrying the souls of newly deceased across the river Styx. The river Styx is an important figure. It's an important thing, figure / entity. It's kind of all of the above within Greek mythology because its main purpose is to divide the world of the living from the world of the dead. Namely, the reason why Charon had to have a ferry is because neither the living nor the dead could really touch Styx. Styx as a body of water was deadly to basically everything. So he was the only way across one way or the other. So that was where you see Charon's Crossing is. And then I like the fact that Charon's Crossing is also the communication center because it's literally the one place that you can communicate to and from Europa is the kind of the idea that I was getting from it.
Nice. And then the beyond we already mentioned is likely where the Exo Stranger is based off the flavor text. Before we go into the terrain and the weather systems and everything like that in there, I do want to call out the 2 pieces of lore that mention Europa currently. This is just like actual cards, and there's one in D2 and there's one in D1. The one in D2 is from the ship card Solar Sails, and it is likely based off of the workers going out to the Bray.
Yeah, that's the one that they were throwing a fit because they were like, ugh.
Yeah, you mentioned it in the intro session. And then the second one is the Ghost Fragment Legends 2, where it's mentioned that the 9 are, what are they? Something on the Tarot Carbon Pits. The 9 are ancient Leviathan intelligence from the seas of Europa or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. So it's just a singular mention there. It's that what Blue loves to call the gather information card, the adventure time.
It totally
roll for your adventure.
It totally is the gather information card. Yeah, Neo
advertible time, by the way, too.
Okay, perfect. Solar Sails is the one that actually does look like a sailboat. So yeah, I actually really like the Solar Sails aesthetic for the ship.
So, should we go to an ad break real quick and then come back and dive into some more
the inclement weather?
The fun, cold, yeah. We'll be right back.
So it was a bit of a chilly departure. So let's come back and.
Oh, well done, sir. Well done.
Man, I'll have to be honest. This particular article that they did was so cool to read. We don't get. I think the lightest TWAB, they kind of did a similar thing with the faces, like they were explaining the mechanics of the faces and everything. But they did a really cool thing, and they kind of pulled the curtain back and actually let the developers of these systems talk about all the crazy stuff that they do. So they had a couple of the Europa design leads talking. Let's see. The introduction is, I'm just going to quote this because it's so great. He says, "The crunch of your boots in the snow makes you aware of the silence, a silence that is short-lived. It starts as a light gust, carrying away the gentle flakes of snow that rest on your shoulders. Then, without warning, it hits you. A sudden wave of frozen air cuts through your armor. The hut in the distance seems further away, harder to see. You lean into the wind as it grows in strength. Frost begins to spread across your helm, and the storm howls as Europa challenges your every step. The squall envelops you, and your destination vanishes into the white."
It's kind of like the imagery that we got in the Eris trailer back in, I want to say it was like June, whenever Eris was moving through the frozen landscape. You see her leaning forward and kind of fighting against this whale of a wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, you see it with, all 3 of the figures actually have a bit of this environmental challenge. Like the stranger, you see it with, though the stranger's is more because her sparrow kicks it up, but then also Drifter has it where he's flying through a bit of a thing. He also has a respirator, which is really I like seeing that particular piece of hardware actually getting shown. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. What about the next section where Europa design lead Alex Velicki recalls we were brainstorming and Ed Brennan.
So cool.
Huh?
I said this was what I was talking about. This is so cool because he explains the process of them coming up with this.
Gotcha. So Ed Brennan, Europa World art lead, proposed the idea of a blizzard to help sell the fantasy of a harsh environment. I thought it would be awesome if design had direct control over it, and it didn't take long for everyone to get excited about the implementation. So is this something, now this is just me throwing out a question, is this something we think is going to be a physical detriment causing us to move slower?
Yes, it is actually. They'll go on to explain it. There's actually 3 different stages. There's aesthetics. There's an aesthetic style that transfers from what they call no storm to light storm to heavy storm. And the aesthetic styles also correlate with actual gameplay impacts. And they actually talked about like the process of going through it. I know Dino said that was the original one. I think it was the heavy storm originally was gonna screw up how your gun and grenades actually interacted. So like in the heavy storm, if you threw a grenade, it would actually not go where you aimed. It would actually get blown off course. I think they ultimately scrapped that and, went with something a little bit gentler for us, but it was really cool listening to hearing about it, because like he says, finding the balance was crucial here, because the initial implementation of slowing player movement, altering grenade paths, and even knocking players off their sparrows, which that sounds amazing, proved too harsh. Because I really actually, going back, I really like the idea that you have to be careful when you're riding a sparrow in a heavy wind or heavy storm. Like that makes sense. That actually does make perfect sense. So because the balance that they're trying to do is they want to create a sense of space that was treacherous to the players, but actually not frustrating. And that's a very delicate line to walk. And this is where they actually start talking about the development of this dynamic system. And he says, while most other weather systems experienced previously in Destiny have been fairly simple, the team wanted to, in this case, create something more dynamic and scripted. And so they actually spent an enormous amount of time watching actual nature videos. And so they went through and they found that, they could script the weather in a way that was similar to the systems found in Destiny's activities. And this also gave them the ability to create the storms on demand. So they now have something where they can toggle the storms as you hit like certain parts.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. Like just reading how they developed this was really, really interesting. So that ties into the aesthetics of the different storms. So, and this kind of goes back to, they were saying, knowing that real storms don't just suddenly appear and disappear with the exact same features every time, the team looked at different ways that they could immerse players into oncoming and departing storms. And so that's where you get these 3 different types. So they basically developed a handful of variables that, when they were blended, could organically grow or diminish a storm based off the needs of the story and the environment. And this was where they said they researched just tons of material, which includes nature documentaries and all this different cool stuff. And that's where you get no storm, light storm, and heavy storm. And I don't know if you want to talk about that the aesthetics there that I have noted.
Yeah, Orchid, are you able to go through the no storm sections and the descriptions that he has in there for it? Oh, she needs 20 seconds. Do you want to wait for her real quick so she can do that?
Worries. Yeah.
Post. This is all going to be taken out in post. Or Jay's going to be a jerk and leave it in. Who knows?
Sound clip.
Please don't be a jerk and leave it in.
Yay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yay, I had to fix it.
Okay.
It's okay. Orchid was
My
having
sound card is
technical difficulties,
aged,
too.
so okay, I fixed it. Hey, I'm amazing, guys.
You are.
Rip. Where are we?
No storm.
No storm. All right. No storm says, this is what Europa would look like without the new weather system. Clear skies, fresh snow, perfect skiing weather. Consider this the smoothest sailing you'll do on the icy moon. I assume that would mean, use whatever scope you want. You're not going to have any problem shooting enemies or seeing things with your scope from,
Correct.
5 miles away.
Mm-hmm. So you might have some like drifting of snow and stuff like that, but it's not going to be like
flurries, maybe.
Flurries.
Yeah.
And then the light storm, wind picks up, snowfall increases around you, and is largely aesthetic. So still not a thing that's actually going to affect your abilities or your gunplay or anything like that. It's literally there just to help warn you that, hey, things are starting to possibly get bad for you soon if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go back and you read the heavy storm?
Sure. The heavy storm says, wind roars and the snow flurries become even more violent. The mid-ground is difficult to see, and if not for the faintly visible silhouettes, it would be nearly impossible to navigate at all. Players are encouraged to stick closer to cover and move with intent.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember the cutscene before Rise of Iron where the wolves, or not the wolves, the devil splicers come through the wall, and it's mostly because of dark, but it was also a snowy landscape that they used for that release. And that imagery that they use there of them coming from the dark is going to help make it look a lot more adrenaline rush because the enemies are much closer and probably going to be quite deadly as well. So it's not necessarily a jump scare tactic, but most certainly one to make you think twice about just being able to move around easily because you don't know where they're coming from. Ooh, I just saw something new on Skype. Cool. Yes, and that is a good segue, Blue. Do you want to go into it?
Oh, I was going to say if you wanted to. Yeah, so actually that is actually something they call out right there as well. They say that it's also worth remembering that just because the weather picks up doesn't mean the moon's combatants disappear. Even though it looks like the snow is shooting at you, it's not. So with nearly zero visibility and a falling kell to stop, it might not hurt to pack a thermal scope, which sounds really cool because that means we're going to get some new... Sounds like that might be one of the new perks or the new loadout options with these weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And then, chat's talking about, like, for anyone who has audio cues or who relies on audio cues during gameplay, this is gonna mess with them. Like, you're not gonna be able to hear those audio cues that you are used to hearing when enemies show up or enemies are around you. You won't be able to hear that.
Guess who's going to be really good at this? Me. He doesn't get the audio cues in the first place.
This is true.
What up?
Yeah, I use a lot of audio cues, so I'm going to be one of those who's going to be screeching like you were when the Promethean met for the first time.
All of a sudden, it was there. What was I supposed to do?
It was great. It was like the bad guy from Scooby-Doo in your face.
Oh my god, it was not there, and then it was.
No, I think this whole concept that they're talking about with the thermal scopes is a really clever way to implement something they've had in game prior, but just didn't really have a ton of use. And it's similar to the highlights that you get. I think it was an old Rise of Iron coin, one of the ones that you could have on there. It was able to highlight artifacts. Enemies. And there's a few other... I'm trying to think of the one that used to have the wall hacks. Was that the Titan helmet? Well, Wishender does that, but there's...
yeah. That was
One-eyed mask.
Yeah, I think that was One-Eyed Mask. I don't Titan, so I think that sounds right.
Yes, One-Eyed Mask does in fact do that.
Yeah.
And also, doesn't crouching ghost
Hunter.
knives do that too? Yeah.
If you get a precision shot. But
Right.
But that's using that same mechanic, and I think it's a nice way for them to use that same cue in a different way to be able to have a scope now rather than have to perform a special task to get it or have a special thing. Sounds of nature.
Yeah, so talking about the audio cues, that actually talks about the different levels of the volume. So he goes on to say the gust of wind rushing past your ears, the creaking of structures as they bend and sway, even the silence. And in many cases, you hear a storm before you see it. And the audio team wanted to give Europa an identity and a voice, so they introduced a unique palette of sounds that would establish it as a recognizable and real place in the Destiny universe. So this kind of gets into like how they do, like, it always fascinates me how they do sounds within video games. Like, one of my favorite things with the Halo games is when the sound team shows like how they make all the weapon sounds, like where they go out to the range and they're just like, oh, we're just gonna shoot this giant 50 caliber gun, but then they start like shooting it into water bottles and different stuff. Similar thing here. So they talk about, to achieve sounds that would invoke an alien wasteland that is familiar but subtly unusual, alien and otherworldly. They talked to Keith, I think it's Soquist, noted that a video shared by Peter Comley of seal sounds really inspired him. So specifically, descending tones, clicks, and booms were noted on how closely tied to the icy environment and naturally evocative of cold and hardness they felt. So a lot of the sounds are inspired by seals, apparently.
That's kind of cool and slightly scary.
Well, it's also really funny because what that reminds me of is the audio that they did in Halo for a lot of the Covenant more animalistic sounds. That's a pug.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wait,
a pug.
really?
Yeah. Like a lot of those snuffles and grunts and stuff. That's a pug that they walk around with a giant mic next to it, and he's like that's it's. I'll have to look up the documentary that they did on him. It was really funny.
That's cool. I remember they did the Vidoc years ago about the different sounds and the Foley art that they used specifically for the Vex, and how a lot of the Vex were actually like metal being cut or punched and stuff like that, added in with a little bit of the electronic music manipulator type thing. But Foley art is such an interesting concept because you can use so many different everyday sounds and just manipulate them just slightly and get a whole new flavor.
Yeah, the pug is Gyoza, and it's mostly he's for Halo Infinite. He's the one that makes the alien noises. It's really, really adorable. But yeah, they did a whole little thing on it for him. So I mean, and I guess the other thing too is like, you know, the whole clicking and booms. If you've ever seen them play with ice tubes, like if you've ever seen them do that, like where they're like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's really cool. Like they'll drop like stuff down. Like I think they drop like metal into the tubes, or they drop, you know, different coins and stuff like that. They did a lot of it with at the North and South poles, because they were basically showing how the sound waves are warped by the ice. It, like, the ice actually changes the way the sound waves travel. It's really cool to watch. So yeah, So after running the information through their audio software, they use the game data to alter the pitch, the volume, and the trigger frequency of the sounds. So what they did was they actually took the sounds that were the seal sounds or whatever the initial sounds were, and then they plugged it into aspects such as those intensities, those 3 different levels of intensities, because then the intensities would be correlated to alter the soundscapes in real time. So in the same way that they are able to summon storms on demand, the storms that are being summoned, the level of the intensity of that particular event is going to also naturally drive the change in the audio sounds that you're hearing.
So the triggering is probably the most important aspect of it, the change of the triggering frequency, because the way that most sound works, and this is just from a scientific perspective, when you're learning about timbre in an instrument, certain instruments do have a type of frequency signature. Like a violin is a very, very easy one to say, has a very particular sense of frequency. But if you put a violin next to a saxophone and you take out, they're playing the exact same note, and you take off the first instant, the trigger, the strike, you actually have a harder time distinguishing between the two because they're so similar. So the fact that they are manipulating the sound in such a way that they are changing the initial strike frequency will make it unrecognizable to us as a standard sound. So like a dog snorting or coughing or anything like that would not sound like that to us because it doesn't have that initial familiar sound. It's not assigned because our brains actually process the first part of a sound more so than the sustain.
That makes a lot of sense.
That actually does. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. It's interesting, like hearing you say that though, because it's yeah. So like think about the old keyboards that had different instruments. Once you they were always terrible sounding because the strike was computer generated. It wasn't an actual strike that you would get from an instrument that would be there. But once you had the strike, if you played a saxophone or a cello or whatever and had one hand be one thing and the other hand be the other, you actually would have a harder time distinguishing them because we did not have the technology to map the frequency levels within the actual MIDI or whatever soundboard was being used for that software for that instrument. So luckily with time and a lot more people who are way smarter than I am, they have been able to develop much, much better sound samples for use electronically.
Right.
But initially it was very, very difficult to come up with something that sounded real.
Yeah, chat's talking about a couple of those things. Black Flag says that's kind of like why your own voice sounds differently to you than it does to other people. Like you perceive your voice differently. And then Neo actually brought up another really cool example of the difference in sounds. If you haven't ever watched this, I really strongly suggest you go do this, but go watch a video of someone skipping a stone on a frozen lake. If you haven't seen it, it is the coolest sound. It's so cool. But yeah, so that was another example that Neo brought up that I really wanted to bring up as well. But yeah, so anyways, so to go back to the way that the data is connected to everything within the soundscape, or it's connected and that alters the soundscapes. So they took the underlying soundscapes of like what Green was talking about with the triggering frequency, the game data to alter pitches, the volumes and all that. They coordinated and connected that into the different intensities of the environment, and then that was then underlaid under an additional wind loops and structural sounds that they added to the different locations. And they tied all of these things, these variables, they tied them all to the same game inputs. And what they came back with was that it's making the Europa storm feel much more dynamic and unique. So you're not going to get I'm not going to say you won't get repeats, but you won't get the same cookie cutter storm experience, on the same, like every mission is going to have a slightly different experience, hopefully. And so that's where the technical mechanics of how they did all this was really cool, watching the sound team come in and be like, this is where we got the sounds and all this, but then watching the actual devs and take that information and see and connect it in a data point, like in a way of a database, was just really cool to read about.
I think it's going to be probably, we talk about like breaking norms in video games all the time with like pushing the limits of what a software can do. This is not necessarily, I don't know if this is pushing the limits of the software because I'm not a coder and I don't exactly understand that, but it is something I would say is, I don't know of any other game that would do something like this to this extent when it comes to the sound. We've seen environmental changes, but sound is often just piped in to be very, very similar across the board. And the fact that we have something that's much more dynamic, it'll help with the immersion. I think I'm going to like running around Europa purely just for the sound design at this point.
I mean, like you'll see similar stuff with like No Man's Sky, other like completely open world games will have similar concepts, but you're right, I don't know of any that like dive into like this level. I know like Elder Scrolls does some similar stuff with not necessarily weather sound, but like environmental sounds. They do a bit of that, especially with Skyrim they did. And I know like with Halo Infinite they're doing some similar stuff as well with the different like what we were talking about with the aliens, like the actual creatures. I don't know. I'm assuming that this is gonna, like, once it's the nature of the beast. Once something is done, then everyone starts doing similar concepts to it. And so, but what's cool about this is like even if someone does a similar concept to it, it's gonna be its own flavor. It's gonna be its own unique process, and it's gonna result in something that is distinct and unique in that particular situation. So even if someone were to copy this, this logic, it's going to result in something that is completely different. And I think that's what's really cool about talking about this particular thing and about them showing like kind of the logic behind it is like, if we can get games to do this, I mean, with the new generation of hardware that's coming out, that's going to also allow people to push a little bit further into it. So I'm really kind of excited about it.
Question real quick. This is just kind of a across the board. I know they talked about having a new system that they were working with, but I can't remember if it was for Beyond Light that this was going to be utilized.
Yes.
Because it was not the same system that they developed D2 on. So they've actually had to create, or at least port over, all the old assets into the new system. Do you remember what system it was?
Or go for it.
As far as I know, the new system they're really doing it. It's a system of like developer tools to make it easier for them to actually upgrade the game later. It doesn't really affect the way we play it at all. It's a way to make their lives easier. So it's like a quality of life upgrade.
Okay.
But it's not a new engine. No. There's no new engine.
It's a quality of life for the
developers. Yeah. It's not for us.
That's good though.
Really,
we can make
really
their
good.
lives easier.
There is an AI kind of upgrade a little bit, which is really fascinating, and I'm really interested to see how they're going to implement this. Is that they're changing the way the AI kind of recognize us in the game. So instead of for example, like Nokris was last week for the Grandmaster Nightfall. So, for example, if I am the last one alive and my two teammates are very dead and I am panicking and screaming, much like many people have heard before. And the thrall, if you're hiding, they can't find you because it's based on the location and not on you as the player. So they don't see
Except
you,
for
they
the
don't know where you
casting.
are, they don't interact with you. In Halo, it's different because they know where you are because like you are the interaction point. It's not like the area at large. So I
Right.
think, they're moving from the mission host to the physics host. That's what Blue said in chat. So
Okay.
yeah,
I think-
so it's gonna recognize us now more as a threat. So if we're by ourselves and we're running out of ammo, then it's probably, I think, gonna be a lot more aggressive than it has been in the past, because we've been really able to abuse kind of the engine.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Especially just like, I don't know how many of you guys have played a lot of Skyrim, but when you get up in levels, you can just take pot shots at like the hardest bosses from the doorway because you haven't
What?
triggered them with
Mhm.
what?
I have no
Who?
idea what you're talking about.
No, I have no
How many
idea
of us
either. I
played-
definitely have never done that.
Played with bows
done-
exclusively in that game.
Yeah, I
because of that.
only sneak.
It's a legit strategy,
only
okay?
Sneak bow.
It is.
My hunter in that game, like my cat has the best thighs in that game because of all the sneaking and bow shooting it does. That's all it does.
Sneaky kitty.
But sneaky bow shoots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it's going to be more like Halo, starting with this new kind of the change of host. I'm hoping.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see. I know it's not the same, or it is the same engine, but it's not necessarily going to affect us. I wonder if it actually will, because one of the things they talked about was making the tables, like they're reframing them, or how would you explain that, Jay?
That faces I know are different.
Well, that was an interesting thing. So like the mission scripting model is going to be like what Orchid was saying. But the other thing that they're doing is they're revamping the content building and patching pipeline. So basically what they're doing is, and chat's kind of talking about this too, they didn't, in hindsight, they didn't expect D2 to last this long. So they have, it's kind of like any system. It's kind of a curse of its own making because all the legacy code is now getting in the way of itself.
Right.
Which, that's not a dig at them. That is literally every video game out there. That is everything. So what you can do, so like one of the things that they're doing right now, that they're talking about, to go back to the physics host instead of the mission host, is one of the features that they mentioned in the TWAB was face-to-face joins in social spaces. So basically you can jump into a fire team with tower friends instead of having to reload the tower, which is a really cool thing. So, and I mean, and of course, like they also call out, the new scripting will change things in a very complex thing. So, there's obviously going to probably be bugs. Just walk into it with that awareness.
Right.
But the other thing for the content building and stuff like that, the downside, if you want to call it that, is that it will be a full re-download for everybody because we're having to kind of fun.
You
Yeah,
mean
I know.
have to deal with the same thing that the PlayStation players have to do
For those of us,
time
those on
there's an
Xbox
update.
and PC, apparently we have to experience the PlayStation.
I'm not happy about that.
I mean, it
And
makes
I'm on
sense.
both, so I'm like, I have to download what now?
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
Black
apparently
Flag.
it's going to be available before it comes out.
Not
so
only
you
is it
can
going to be available
pre-download it
before it's
before
coming
you can
out,
play
but it's
it.
also going to be 30 to 40% smaller. Like, it's huge amount.
It is huge now. It takes up the majority of my PlayStation.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think they said it's cutting it down to somewhere between 60 and 70 gigabytes, which I think right now it's like 140 or something. But yeah, let me see. Black Flag mentioned it. Yeah, so the whole thing that the shift is, real quick, is that's actually the technical reason that you see sunsetting. To be honest, that is at the core. That is why you have sunsetting happen.
Thank goodness.
And so basically what it's gonna do is, what is it? He said, like, complete shippable content builds were frequently taking north of 12 hours. So now they've got it down to sub 12 hours, which is huge. They basically cut the shipping time that they took. It took work to allow them to cull content that we've upgraded or replaced. They addressed the limited capabilities. it's just a lot of stuff that they needed to clean house on. They've actually had time to go back and do stuff. Let me see the other thing that it was. Yeah, then they mentioned the rebuilt the face system, which gives me hope that we'll eventually get to a point where we can upgrade our face. Apparently the faces will look a little bit different, but it is not giving us the ability to change the face yet.
Boo.
But yeah, but it's a step in that direction. Like, it is a step in that direction eventually. But then
I don't know about you guys. I'm still happy with my face. Like,
I just want to be able to change my hair.
I love my warlock, but my god, my hunter, I was like memeing when I made it, and it's just like the most horrific exo I've ever seen, and I regret everything, and I always keep the helmet on. It's essentially Shax, just never take the helmet off.
I always keep the helmet on.
Always keep the helmet on. I never want to do that.
Now Shax has buck teeth underneath the helmet because he messed up in the character creation screen.
Yep, there you
it's
go.
confirmed.
It's canonical. The other big thing is
Shax
they were able to relight portions of some of the spaces. So basically they took, and they I don't know if this is necessarily new for Beyond Light. I think they're doing similar things to what they did with Shadowkeep. The lighting system that they used in Shadowkeep was, if I remember, that was a really big step forward for how it... I remember them talking about like the way that they did. It's not ray tracing necessarily, but it's kind of that kind of concept. Is it uses shadows and uses the angle based off how the environment has things that block it, and the way that the system picks up on those elements. They changed and updated for Shadowkeep. So I think they're basically bringing the EDZ and Nessus areas up to spec as far as that. Because, I mean, that's, 4 years now that they've been there.
Teal with a weird mouth and pink hair spikes. That sounds like an amazing, 80s homage exo orchid.
It sounds like my hair at this very moment.
I liked your, that picture you posted earlier.
Thank you.
Good picture.
Yeah, my hair's obnoxious right now.
We should round out this episode.
We should. We're done.
I will also say I think it was David Aldridge, did a Reddit AMA with the Destiny engineering manager, who was Chris Kosinovich. This was from a few months back, so it's a little bit, it's a little bit dated information, but it's still it's still worth going through and reading it. And that's all in the Bungie TWAB from last week, I believe, the 24th, September 24th. So yeah, last week. It's all in that particular TWAB. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that is all to kind of come back to Europa. I think that it's going to be, that's why I'm expecting it to be kind of like another Shadowkeep kind of hop, in that we see a lot of things that they're going to be trying to experiment with, which I'm always excited when they do that, because you get some really fun, both fun, ridiculous, and fun, actual stuff happen in game. Like, I always, Zavala visiting us at the tree. That was a fun surprise. Don't stand to the right of Eris.
I so wish I kept that clip of Cole getting just thrown against the wall and killed.
I got yeeted when I did it too, because I stood in the exact wrong spot, and it was really funny. I could not stop laughing.
Mm-hmm. Good times. Mm-hmm. So, do we have any shout-outs for this episode? Since we've kind of...
I mean, just basically welcome to Orchid. Thanks for putting up with our insanity. And thanks for chat. I've been having fun with chat this round. Shoutables. They've been keeping me on my toes with the introduction to new words.
Yeah, shout out to Orchid. We're gonna shout out her right out here. Also, Dancing Vuru with all the bulls that we get.
They're amazing. They give me life today.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's almost like a second language. You know how in when you're a kid, you learn Pig Latin.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels like another language. We created a new thing, guys.
Guys, it's the focus fire language.
It's the focus fireables.
Yep, focus fireables, guys.
Speakables.
Mm-hmm.
Speakable.
Yes.
I have a friend named Speakable.
Nice.
Shout out to Speakable.
How about a shout out to Orchid Streams? The most funnable, haloable.
Oh.
Screamable.
It's screamable.
Prometheanable, nightable.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
there is an amazing clip of her screaming.
It is.
Have we mentioned that clip?
Have we? Yes, many times. Please mention it again. It's very funny. You can find it on my channel. At Hey, It's Working.
Or you can ask Pins.
You can ask Pins. He will supply
Pins,
it to you.
Pins has like a Rolodex of Twitch clips, I'm pretty sure at this point.
There's another one of me smashing. One of my first clips was me smashing my face into the wall when I was streaming with Rick during the Rasputin bunkers. Because I always jumped at the wrong time, and I just jumped straight into the wall and would like just catapult myself and kill myself. I also screamed on Raspy. Yeah, every time, like every single time. It's just without fail, I would do it. I mean, I did it on purpose 90% of the time, but
some of those bunkers were much more difficult than others because I had the wires hanging down.
Yeah,
they had the random subways. I mean, there's
okay.
They had the random IO subway. I am still.
Fuck.
It's you know what? It's so they could take the subway to their Zen garden. It's so Eris could get to her pineapple garden. That's why the subway is there. Guys, we solved it. It's a pineapple garden subway. It's a Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express. So anyways, thank you for your time. And until next time, remember, with wisdom we conquer, stand strong, stand tall, and keep exploring.
Bye.
Bye.
Fun slide skull bash. Yeah. Okay. Cut off the second one.
So Jay, my stuff exploded.
No worries. I have no. You're fine.
Okay.
I have notes. I have notes on mine. That's
okay.
what I.
What we might
go for it.
I said what we might do from now on, if this is something that just her audio card is having trouble with, we might just, if you don't mind, we could stop and restart between episodes and just make it 2 files so the files aren't as large. And give her a chance to restart the program.
That'd be nice. I need to replace it. I need to replace a lot of stuff on my computer because this is old. The amount of things plugged into it right now makes it look like some sort of hentai. So
your computer looks like hentai?
Yeah, it looks like a victim of hentai.
It looks like the waifu in the hentai movies.
It looks like a waifu and yeah. There's just cables everywhere. Yeah.
You both realize I know this is
gonna trigger. Really?
I've never seen it. Yeah, I've never experienced
Orchid?
I'm good.
Do you want...
I'm good. I'm
Green's like, no.
Thank you. I have plenty of kinks that I'm fine enjoying those. I don't need that one. Chat. Not a fucking challenge.
Black flag. We can fix that.
You fuckers. I have mod powers. Don't you do it?
I don't. No responsibility.
I could block you.
Yep, you could totally block me.
Lotta, what's that?
What is this thing? Oh my goodness. I've actually had a pretty decent iron banner. I'm totally changing the subject. I don't care that there's no segue. I don't care that it's obvious. I had a pretty decent iron banner this week.
That's good.
Yeah.
I haven't played Destiny in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I only played because it's the first time I've had a chance to actually sit down and want to play in a while. I'm here.
You're all sinning.
Drifter's box, and you're all sinning.
Sinnable. Oh no! Why would you do that, Blue?
Why are you up in that box?
No.
Did Drifter consent to this?
Oh.
For you in that box.
Oh no. Okay, so whenever
it's
you
for
say
art.
the Drifter's
For
box, hear me
science!
out. Hear me out. I'm picturing a cardboard box that says free on it, and there's a Drifter sitting there, and he has whiskers. And he looks really sad with big cat eyes, and he's like, feed me, with like the sad cat face. And like a little bell collar, and Eris is sitting there like with a Friskies can.
You just saved terms of surface for us. Thank you, hon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I don't care most of the time. I am lewd with certain things. Let's see here. Drifter's box is a shipping container, so fisting it is. Got it.
Yes, Drifter's a cat boy now. Confirmed. Family friendly streamer.
Well, whatever.
Sometimes I'm lewd until it makes people uncomfortable, and then I'm family friendly.
What did you suggest me changing?
Who are you asking?
I just got a notification from Orchid. Orchid suggested this change. I'm like, what?
No, I didn't. Oh, I added a plus by accident. I just like hit my keyboard on it and then deleted it. I was like, oops. Sorry.
No! No plus signs!
Yeah, I will not change this.
There we go. Forgot what my freaking organization's system was on my hard drive. The main reason I'm on Destiny is something to play while podcast was on that doesn't have a story. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I had to remember where my Audacity saves. Jesus. I can have Audacity.
Oh, goodness. So, did you ever get anything resolved with your dealership, Blue?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe.
Some.
I'm going to go in tomorrow and yell at them.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
I mean...
Ish.
Ish. Yay! Please do it, Lotta. Do it.
Did Lotta say? I'm gonna draw
Drifter as a cat boy. Yes.
Nice.
Do it. Addable. Yes. You know, I'm gonna call the plus screwdriver an addable screwdriver from now on.
Orchid. Check.
What?
Discord.
No. Oh no. I can't say that.
No, you can't, but it's funny.
It's funny.
And true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Terms of service.
Ruru.
And no, Hunter. That is what my channel is for. Not this channel.
Let's see. Oh, so have you read through the scripts, Orchid, for Termino?
I've vaguely looked through it, and we pulled all of the names out because I have to start messaging people tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really read them. I just pull out all the names so I can organize times.
I gotcha.
I'm not a lore person or a continuity person. I
only read my lines in my scene.
Yeah, I'm the Termino like voice actor mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm the one that drives you guys all to soccer practice.
You guys heard it here. Orchid is now my mom.
Yep. Well, I am wearing a bathrobe.
So many comments.
Oh. Yep.
How old are you?
Older than you.
Are you actually, though?
I think so.
When's your birth year?
85.
Oh, you are older than me by 2 years. I'm an 87 kid. Just barely.
The reaction for it.
We have Orchid, you're the oldest on the show now. Blue's 86.
Did you hear that, guys? I am the old one.
She's the new grandma.
I'm the cool grandma, whatever.
You are.
I'm the one that gives you candy and then takes you back to your parents' house. Oh, here, my sister's daughter is turning 1 next week, so I bought a bunch of musical instruments for her that all involve banging and loud noises.
Yes. What kind of, were they actually actual percussion instruments?
It was like a Montessori wooden/metal, xylophone and triangle, tambourine, maracas, kit that you can get. And they're all just loud.
I love it. You know what?
My sister's like, I need you to get something for her. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find some. I need to show you. They're tunable PVC pipe. Boom, I think. What are they called? We actually used them in elementary music because they're a really easy thing for kids to play because you literally just either hit it against your hand or the floor, whatever, and it would bang a pitch. Let me see if I can find them. Oh my gosh, you two. The fan fiction was okay. For chat who can't see the argument that is going on.
No, God, why?
You are the one who put it in there. You have no one to blame but yourself. Something Twilight.
Blue, you've done this to yourself.
You really have. And Blue and Orchid were arguing about Twilight trash or not trash. I said it was utter trash, even though I read it 3 times. And then Blue said he lit it on fire. And then Orchid was like, fan fiction.
Ooh, woo.
Woo.
Ooh, woo.
I'm gonna go pour bleach on my brain
Orchid
now.
confirmed trash weeb.
Yeah, Hunter has the correct response. It was absolute trash.
I said it was trash. I just also read it 3 times because I was in college and lonely.
Speaking of trash weeds,
there are so many other options, so Green. So many other options.
My choice, okay, it was. I considered Twilight and what was the Vampire Diaries? No, the Sookie Stackhouse series.
The Sookie Stackhouse ones. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
those were ones I considered like candy shop reads. They had no substance and they were just fun. I read that because I hated fucking reading my textbooks and I needed something easy and stupid to turn my brain off to. Hey, Orchid.
What?
Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Oh, Jesus.
Team Edward.
Really?
Yeah, because he's creepy. And I'll tell you why. Because
he's not as creepy as Jacob. Jacob did the weird ass I fell in love with your daughter.
Jacob fell in love with an infant, and that was weird.
It was super weird.
Edward is like 92 and was like watching a teenage girl through her window at night and just like sitting outside and watching sleep for like months.
All respect is gone.
Like
yeah, Edward was creeper. Jacob was creeper in a total different way.
Bella's the worst though because she's like into both of these guys, and I'm like, why? Like, obviously, why?
Because she has shit for
Jacob
brains.
did have the way better body.
Like, be into like the manic pixie dream girl sister if you're gonna be into anybody. Like,
right? Alice was amazing.
Alice was
amazing. For all their names.
Be into her. Like, I would hit that, but the rest of them, no. Except Carlisle, the dad. I was into that too.
No, gross.
Yeah, I was into that.
Gross.
Yeah.
Alice
also,
was
the
hot.
Italian ones. Alice was hot. Yeah, Alice was hot.
What was the name of the other sister, the blonde?
Her name was I don't care. Because her name was not Alice.
No, it was not Alice. Alice was the only one worth mentioning.
Exactly.
And there was also Emmett, the brother.
Yeah, Emmett. Yeah, you know more names than I do.
I have a really stupid memory that comes up with things that I shouldn't come up with. I told you I read the damn thing 3 times. Rosalie, thank you, Black Flag.
Mm-hmm. What was the mom's name again?
I don't remember that one. I think we broke Blue.
Oh yeah, Edward was emotionally toxic and Bella didn't give 2 shits for Jacob romantically. Yeah. Oh. Dominic Noble. Oh, I don't know this person, but I will look it up.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Blue is literally just like completely trying to hide in his frame. You know?
Oh yeah, he lost all everything, all respect for us, for me at least. What did I do? So he keeps thinking. What did I do?
We could talk about the Dark Brotherhood series instead, Jay, or the Way of Kings.
Or we could talk about the fan fiction of Twilight. 50 Shades of Grey.
I never watched or read that, nor do I care to, because
don't watch it, but
it's just the concept, like the way it was written was also poorly done. I've seen enough reviews on it to be like, yeah, that's not how it actually works.
No, it's not how it works. They're such trash, and I just read all. I like inhaled them. I'm like, this is so bad, I can't stop. It's like reading a train wreck in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
God, do you guys ever? Speaking of trains, have you ever taken like a really long train ride that's like overnight?
No, I lived in Kansas.
This is true. You should do it at least once in your life, like an overnight train trip, because it is a freaking experience.
We talked about doing a train trip to Chicago because Julie's never been there, and I like Chicago. I think it's a neat town. Jay, are you alive?
Huh? Yes.
Okay.
Well, Lotta, you should put it on AO3.
Is it an actual fanfic, like, maturity rating? Or are you writing fanfics that are just, like, fun read fanfics? Also, are you doing the Pentober? The Destiny Pentober instead of Inktober?
Yeah, so what is that?
So, do you know what Inktober is? Or
yeah.
So, recently, with like in the last couple of years, there's been a push to have more writers because not everybody's an artist. And they put out a document that you can do either writing or images if you would rather for the month of October, and it's just a writing prompt every single day. It's actually kind of fun for those of us who just write RPs and fan fiction in general.
I do NaNoWriMo every year.
I don't know what that one is.
NaNoWriMo is a National Novel Writing Month, and it is a nonprofit that encourages people to write 50,000 words in 30 days.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
Yeah, so they have like October is like prep month, and they have like worksheets, and they usually have like local get-togethers, and they have like focus groups and little support groups online for your local area if you want. But because of COVID this year, they're just doing everything online, and it's kind of changed. But I know a lot of people still doing it.
That's cool. Do you
So
have
yeah,
do you have the access links to that? Because I do like
it's
writing.
NaNoWriMo.org, I believe. Let me look it up and I'll just like paste it. I'll send it to you.
NaNoWriMo. Oh, Trek
Yeah.
says their wife has done NaNoWriMo on several occasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love NaNoWriMo. Erica does it every year. She's super she loves writing and she's super dedicated.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does she actually have anything published?
It's the point of NaNoWriMo is to sometimes it is to actually publish a work. She puts a lot of stuff on AO3 and has multiple different names.
I gotcha.
Because a lot of it is not for people. People shouldn't read it. But
Right.
in fact, no human should consume some of the things that she writes.
I mean, if it is something, an expression of herself that she wants to keep to herself, that is all more power to her.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. So she can just kind of, get out the aggression and get out the feels. I guess sometimes we just have to express ourselves in different ways.
Yeah, I get that. Trek has done Pentober. Yeah, Trek, you actually have an RP account, don't you? Because your character, what is it, Rias? Trying to remember what your character's name is, your guardian's name. But I accidentally posted tomorrow's too soon. I posted it tonight on accident. Rindle, that's what it was. Rindle Zivas. I just mixed the first and last name together. I think Trek's normal account is his RP account as well.
Yes. Hunter, I know, does a lot of RP also in Destiny.
I actually just shut down my RP accounts because I just haven't done anything with them since Petra has not been prominent. There's just no point.
Yeah, I have the Splinter Cell Mass Effect like crossover fic I've been writing for like 6 years during NaNoWriMo, and it's very long and convoluted, and I kind of want to finish it.
Nice.
Oh, it's not good, but I really like it.
I had a friend who wrote a slash, or not a slash version. What is it called? When you do the opposite gender, or gender bent, that's what it's called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gender bent version of the picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh.
It was very cool. Very cool. It's actually published. It's a published novel. The Dorian character is very, very charming and very hot, just like very, very sexy female character lead. Here. Hunter, don't get frustrated with the RP styles, like your RP style versus other people's RP style, because some of, like, I don't know, there's such a different feeling when you have people who write novels in their descriptive style for RPs versus people who can do faster pace, more reactionary RPs. They're just two different styles. I don't think there's one necessarily more superior or anything like that. I've done both. I prefer somewhere in the middle.
I've still not played Among Us. I need to do that.
It's fun.
Yeah, I've not done it yet. I have it.
I have it too. We should do that.
It would be fun.
We should get.
Should get Guardians of Lore to do it with us.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Should download it. I had to explain to him what it was the other day.
That would be fun. Stream it. I would totally stream it. The three of us and the three of them. Oh yeah.
The scary thing is, I don't know if I want. No, here's the thing. I think Blue would be way better at it than you guys would give him credit for. Because Blue can be very convincing when he wants to be.
Yes.
And if he's the traitor and is able to manipulate others, I think he'd be better at it than you realize.
Oh, no. Yeah, it would not be. We could find. I know Beard would play with us if we asked him.
Yeah?
Because he's played it a couple. Yeah, he would play with us. He likes playing it.
You guys would be the first group I'd play in a voice chat with on it.
I did watch Maddie and those people play it. Maddie and Fez and Sassy and Senshi. And
is this the
very funny?
Yeah, I watched Maddie for a little bit. I remember Tenroken just murdering Matt left and right.
Yes. Jen just constant murder. That was always
every time.
I got Paul Tassi to tweet at me today.
Nice.
No, I baited him.
Is this Dungeons Blue?
Does
look very weird.
It's adorable.
It looks like a mix between Super Mario World and Minecraft.
You're not wrong.
Blue exploring Europa in Minecraft dungeons. Yeah, the frame is kind of amusing
dancing,
with the Minecraft.
I heard about that. It looks really fun, actually.
Europa sure looks awful green and blocky.
Green and blocky!
Yes.
It's not as cold as I thought it was going to be.
But there is life there. Zombies.
What?
Was a gasp.
I know, that's what I would...
That is a sound.
Yay! Happy. Toki, come here and say hello to everybody.
Oh my god, Blue, you missed the most adorable fucking thing. She got Go-Gurts for her cat.
Oh no!
I did!
They're on fire! Why are they on fire?
Come here, say hi to Green, because she's the only one that can see you.
Where is your screen? Why won't it let me see your screen? I just have to look at Blue. God.
Go switch to Modern Grid preview.
It's on Modern Grid preview, but whatever.
That cat looks so happy.
I can't see Orchid's kitty. This could end badly. Whatever.
Green, you're gonna miss it.
I can't see it. I've tried. It's being weird.
Green, you're gonna miss it.
I can hear the kitty. I can hear the purring. Oh my god.
There it is. Oh my god, the cow has a fire trail on it.
Good. What is it? The chew room?
Guys, we're doing it. We're doing cat ASMR right now.
Yep.
Night, Fire Cat. Good night, Lotta.
Night, Lotta.
I have a cat in my neighborhood named Drifter. because I named him that.
Nice.
Because I don't know his name.
Lou's dog is named Cade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Neo, send me a picture of your kitten on Twitter. I would love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Hey It's Orchid on Twitter. I love pictures of cats. Toki, you are making such a mess right now. You're getting churu everywhere.
Why is my mother up at 1 a.m. in Kansas?
She's trying to feed your cats churus, and it's just such a mess.
She's a dog person.
She's trying to feed your dog churus. Oh, Toki, you bit a hole in the side of the churu, and now
like,
there's
"Yeah, I
churu
did."
coming out the side.
It's faster eatins.
It's not, though, because it's still coming out the top, so now it's just messy eatins, and now there's just, like,
Same difference.
whatever, scallop chicken nightmare everywhere.
Okay, the cat has pointy teeth. The cat does not know how to
you
deal.
don't use Twitter? Oh.
Does not know how to deal with a dispenser.
He doesn't. But he knows how to eat churros because he ate one on stream.
He was still biting the side of it. I watched that
was.
fucking thing.
He wanted it so badly. He's like, faster, human.
Noms.
Faster.
It's a child with those, what are those called?
Otter
The
Pops?
frozen pops. Yeah.
Otter Pops?
Are they called Otter Pops?
They are called Otter Pops.
In Kansas, I think they called them Patriot Pops because redneck.
They are called Otter Pops in California.
As you do.
Mm-hmm. That's like the name of the company.
Yeah, I just remember they were cheap, and my mother would get them as a summertime treat because it was literally just food coloring, a tiny bit of sugar, and
water.
Freeze it. Yep, freeze it.
We got these Mexican ones when I was a kid. Toki, get off my computer.
There are frozen fruit pops. We actually have a few different, we have a fruteria and a carne asada in town that have really good produce and like just a really good butcher and stuff like that. And they one of them, the fruteria, has a fruit pop stand where it's like the entire popsicle is crushed pineapple, essentially. Mm-hmm. Or banana or whatever.
The purable. Vera with the purable. Ew, Toki, you have chewable all over me.
Oh my gosh-able.
Ugh, he got out of my noseable.
It's sleepyable.
Yeah.
Otter Pops.
Oh no, you're allergic to purables and barkables? That's awfulables.
Is it the dander Vuru? Because I have a golden doodle I work with that's hypoallergenic, even though he's a big goober who slobber all over you the whole time.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa?
I turned a corner and there was an entire, like, army.
Oh,
mobs.
no. Oh, the hair. Yeah, my sister's allergic to them, too. And has, what is it? It's a miniature poodle because they're, like, hypoallergenic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for dander, I guess not. Well, I don't know. They have hair. They don't have, like, fur, though.
Yeah,
right?
So, right. Poodles have hair. They're not shedding. They still will shed, but it's very, very light shedding compared to a dog like my Chihuahua. Caleb is as far as we can tell, a Lhasa Apso, and he has hair. Buddy has fur, but Caleb's hair we have to get cut every once in a while because he won't shed. Buddy, on the other hand, has no problem losing his hair all over the fucking house.
Hey, weather changed? Whoomp.
He's short-haired too. You'd
Oh,
think it
yeah,
wouldn't be a thing. But
oh no,
my
Kate
God.
Kate does the same thing. It's like the weather shifts and it's like whoomp. Like,
Yeah.
why?
So I was painting baseboards
Oh
yesterday,
no.
and just the amount of hair, like it was clean. I wiped it down first with a rag, and the amount of hair I still found after wiping it down with rags was obscene. It's not like we keep our house clean. It's just Buddy's hair is so fine,
Mm-hmm.
it just hides in places.
Toki is just the worst.
Vuru. I had a cat named Kavoth, if you get the book reference, that was a complete asshole who, on multiple occasions, we lived in a basement apartment in Kansas, would let the servicemen get into the stairwell and down to our front door, which was the basement door, knock on the door, and then he would come in the outside door and trap them at the top of the stairs and not let them out if we weren't home. And he put a gash in a serviceman's steel toe boot.
What?
Sounds
He
like that
was
cat
a
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Jeez.
He was such a jerk.
I mean, it sounds like a cat.
Oh my God.
That's exactly like a cat.
That cat did not like me. Like, he was not a cuddler. He was not somebody who wanted love, except for from Julie. Like, that was Julie's cat.
Mm-hmm.
Small tiger. Orange. Yes, orange. Really good mouser and birder. Like, he brought in multiple birds into the house as presents, which I still find hilarious, even though my wife
Is that
cried.
the same as the picture that you put up earlier?
Yeah, that one was Henry, another orange cat. That is not my cat. That is my boss's cat.
Mousers are hilarious. I love Mouser cats. Like, they give
you presents.
Oh yeah, growing up, they're the best. Like, you get the randomest shit.
Saffron, my kitten, bit the washing machine repairman. That is amazing.
Well, the washing machine repairman probably deserved it.
Right? He was in his space.
Yeah.
He was protecting his home.
Knew it. Mm-hmm.
They bring you collectibles. It's like a rabbit's foot, right?
Yeah,
It really is.
exactly.
Yeah, no, when I house sat the last time, Henry brought me a present and left it in the bottom of the stairs. So when I came down from my bedroom the next morning, I found that one. That one just made me chuckle a little bit. That was also the day they were coming home. I did not tell the owners at the time. But since then, I have found that Henry has killed 3 mice and left them underneath the porch outside. Oh. And then the one that I took a picture of today that was on the porch at the doormat, right outside the door.
Because he's like, look, Mom, look, Dad, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Gross.
The funny thing is that the wife is very skittish about it and doesn't like animals dead.
Mm-hmm.
So she puts sticky notes up wherever she is not enjoying what things are going on or what needs to be done. And she put an entire page up saying that Johnny, the husband, needs to go get rid of that.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bow. Let's see.
No, I know why you like this.
What time do you have to get coal tomorrow?
6:38.
Oh my God.
I have not seen anything.
It's evening. In the evening.
Oh, okay. I was like, do you have to get up in like 4 hours?
Fuck no. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I'll work from 10 to 2 and then leave to go down to Denver about an hour before her plane arrives.
Is that your cat?
What's up?
Orchid, is that your cat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm like, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure that's not a sound effect on the game, but I wanted to make sure.
Nope. That's my cat.
Just letting
Yep.
you know. Just letting you know that they're there.
Mm-hmm. They're
Hey,
just saying hi.
hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Toki, once I've started doing something, sitting here, either streaming or using the computer or doing anything, he's like, "Oh, hey, it's my time now, right?" I'm like, no, 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 it's my time now. Your time has passed. It's
You got the warm
mommy's time.
box out. You got the warm box out.
I have the warm box out.
Is it
Yes.
is it a PC game or is it on console?
Oh, the what Maddie was playing the other day.
Oh, it's on my phone.
What?
Yes, Genshin Impact. My waifu game. My favorite waifu game. You can get it on PlayStation, PC, or iOS or Android, and it is free. And it is cross-play because I can play with Maddie on my phone while he is on PC.
I did not
Is it
know
free
that.
to play on PC?
Friends in this game.
What Genshu? What is it called?
Genshin Impact.
Genshin.
Yeah, and it's actually like looks really nice.
Yeah,
and it's very
liked watching it.
surprising. Yeah. Did you see? I put a screenshot of it because I had his picture-in-picture open of him playing it while I was playing it.
Oh, you fucking pig. Get
And
back here.
really, I did it like just to get the screen cap, and then I like just like made it go away because his picture-in-picture was too big. It was over all the buttons I needed.
Yeah, it was.
But it's jiggle physics with
jiggle
story.
physics with
That is
story.
exactly what it is.
It is very pretty looking.
I love all of my waifus.
I'll have to look. If it's on PC, I'll look at it. Oh shit! I forgot about these guys.
It's on PC, but there's a bug that doesn't allow you to that at least on some you can't rekey all of your buttons.
Interesting.
So I have like I have one of those like little tiny. I have a Tartarus, and so I'm like, oh, I can't use that now. Cool.
I've been doing a lot of Merge Dragons in Pokemon Go.
Oh, I forgot you play Merge Dragons.
We're friends on Merge Dragons.
I haven't played it in ages. I forgot it existed.
It's fine. I've just been sending you gifts unrequited.
I'll have to get you.
I gotta go get all of them.
Anna's code or whatever. She plays that. She plays that all the freaking time.
I can send you my code. It might be easier than trying to get hers.
That's probably an accurate statement.
Yeah, I blame Wicked for that one. That one's Merge Dragon is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
My problem is I start playing and then 5 hours go by and I'm like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I play it mainly because it fills up some space in between cleaning things.
Mm-hmm.
Because work.
Yeah, this game, I like it because you can play it a little bit and then put it away and then pick it up again. And it actually doesn't take all that much internet.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just kind of download a file unless you're playing with somebody. But you're not really... There's gonna be missions and stuff later. Like, no one's a high enough level yet.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I don't think any of my weeb friends are high enough yet. I know I'm friends with Beard on here. So you can get his friend code because he's been playing it on stream.
I'm trying to remember how to do a friend code on. Nope. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, there's my tag. There it is. Zoop. Incoming to Discord.
Go.
Don't know how to add people in Genshin. How do you add people in Genshin?
You have to go to it's the top left. There's a little head. It's where your actual character is. So if I tap it, it opens the actual like main menu in the game. And then you can like shop, there's party setup, and then there's one for friends. And then your friends are there. And I think the middle button where there's a plus, you can search and add friends by the user ID. And the user ID is in the bottom right corner of your screen all the time. So I'm just gonna like, if you guys play Genshin, I'm just gonna give you guys my ID. You can add me. I'm on America servers. That doesn't matter. It matters what servers you're on.
So Maddie's on American servers?
Yeah, because all of us are on America servers. He's like, I could be on Asia servers, but everyone's on America servers, so I'll be on America servers. So everyone is playing
Good
on
luck,
America
Neo.
servers. Bye, Neo. Sleep tight.
Small orange predator will never give up its space. You must learn to share.
Aha! Got you. Fuck me. Oh no!
Okay, I have a lot to download, it looks like, in this game, and I'm going to go ahead and head off for the evening so I can sleep.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
need to go to bed.
Stream, you guys have a great night. We will see you guys next week.
Bye, stream.
Bye!
Good night.